So you've gone through the process of getting a pre-approval. You've been to see multiple properties and you finally found that property that you thought was yours after putting in several offers on different homes. You got your contract accepted. Now you are under contract, and all of a sudden now you're in a position where you're going to get your home. But here are some factors that can get you denied even after getting under contract when you go into underwriting. Hi, I'm Sean Aldrich, better known as Coach Sean the Realty, eXp Realty, going above and beyond to help you find your dream home. I want to go through some information to help you to overcome these pitfalls once you've put yourself in a position where you've gotten a contract on a home so that you can go from contract to close. If this information is helping you, please like and follow, subscribe to help the algorithm and get this out to more people. So here are some information that can help you in this process. One of the things that can happen afterwards is once you go into this period what we call underwriting, where they begin to really dissect your financials and go through a lot of different things really thoroughly. A lot of people, it's suggested about 8% of people who go through underwriting don't make it all the way through. I've had some instances where this happened. I can give you some examples of some things that maybe take place. One of the things I've seen can happen is even in that period where you were given financials, people did not give accurate information. There were some things that they should have revealed that were hidden, that the underwriter who goes through your information very thoroughly will find and bring up and cause the loan not to go through. So upfront financially, even if you're giving overtime, and sometimes people put overtime in that situation, if it's not something that's consistent and permanent, then it can affect your debt to income ratio and cause that loan to collapse in that situation. Other things I've seen that have happened to stop them: losing or quitting a job. Obviously, if you get ready to buy a home, you should continue in that job and stay in that job at least until you've closed on that home, because they want to make sure that you're looking and you're in that job for a long period of time and that it's permanent, because it's a risk, obviously, if you don't have employment or have income to be able to buy the home. Another one, making a large purchase. I often talk about the thou shalt nots while under contract. Thou shalt not make large purchases. If you got to get that furniture, if you got to get all those different things for the house, you wait until you close and then you put those on the house. Thou shalt not buy anything with new credit. Talk to your lender if you're even thinking about making any of these things happen or doing any of these things before you go into a place of closing. It can definitely mess up your debt to income ratio and cause you not to be able to get a home. A lot of things can happen while you're under contract. Even if you're going from one position on your job to another position, and you may be thinking, I make more money in this position. Before you take that position, check with your lender to make sure it's right, because they may be paying you something, or you might be contracted in this situation and it may not be permanent. And when that particular happens, they may want to wait until you work a specific period of time, but you're under contract to close on a period date, and it could cause it to collapse. Let me give you some other things. Missed payments on debt. It's interesting because you can have the money and have all the funds, but even when you're looking at your credit, one of the things that affects your credit is if there's missed payments. I've heard of people who have been close to the closing table and had missed payments, and they still have the money for it, but it messed up their credit, and thereby the lender saw it as a risk, and the underwriter did not get them to that particular point. We talked about it a little earlier, but I want to reiterate it. Undisclosed debt. You're saying, shouldn't they see this in pre-approval? There are some debts they may not see in approval. Some of the obligations they may not see. Certain things like child support, alimony, other kind of debts that have come up. These don't normally show up on your credit report, but when they dig deeper in underwriting, these things can come up and cause you to not be able to move forward and close on the deal. Another thing, quotes on homeowners insurance and sometimes HOAs. What happens is in pre-approval, they have a certain threshold they have of what they want it to be and what they project it to be. But when you go into that, if that homeowner's insurance is a lot more than what they projected it to be, it messes with your debt to income ratio. Sometimes it could be that the previous person had a lot of claims in that home, and you don't really know that until you get into the process of buying a home. That can have an effect upon your HOAs townhomes and condos, those HOA fees, depending on how high they can be, and sometimes they have special assessments, can have something that can affect it. Another one, the appraisal comes in short. The appraisal is the assessed value of the home. That appraisal, if it comes in short, so for instance, you're buying a home for $300,000, it comes in at $285,000, there's a $15,000 difference. When that comes in short, the lender is not going to give you more money than the house is appraised for. So you can go back in negotiations with the seller to see if you all can come to a happy medium in negotiations. They can either lower the price. Sometimes you can pay out of pocket a particular fee and the gap of the appraisal. But if you cannot come to an agreement, a meeting of the minds, then it could cause it not to go forth. Another one is not having enough for closing costs. There are closing costs which typically are 2 to 7% of whatever the value of the home is, and a lot of times if you don't have that, even there's sometimes where even some lenders want you to have reserves to be able to close. And here's even another one I want to give you: untruthful occupancy. I highly advise you don't do this. A lot of times people can say, I'm going and I'm moving into this home and I'm going to be an owner occupant, because they want to get that 3.5% when they're actually going to be renting it out. They have ways of finding that out. And you want to make sure that you're being truthful, just out of moral values, to be able to do that, to be truthful in the things that you're doing when you're moving forth in a purchase, because they a lot of times will uncover these things. Some of the things you can do to help you in your process, I like when you find a lender that will get you fully underwritten. Even before it helps you in certain areas, because if you're fully underwritten, that means they went through a lot of this process and gotten and dug deep into it before you even got your pre-approval. It also a lot of times wins you in offers, because it seems as good as cash, because they've seen that, we don't have any hiccups that may come up in this particular situation. Next one is just be authentic, be honest, tell them everything. Disclose if you see some potential things that can be some hazards to you getting to the place where you can get the home, and it'll help you in the long run, even if you may have to wait a little longer to be able to figure out how to do it and to maneuver and adjust those things. At least you're not going through that process and you're spending money on inspections and appraisals and all those different things and rearranging things, and then all of a sudden you find out you can't go into. So be honest and be transparent in the things that you're doing. I hope this information is helping you. Please like and follow and subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps this get out to more people. I'm thankful that you were able to watch this, and I hope something was said that will help you in your home buying process. Thank you for watching. As always, God bless.